Are we good? Okay, hello, good evening everyone.
Good evening, Yuan.
Good evening. Let's all get to know Sharil. If I could use a single persona to most aptly and describe Sharil, and I think you've seen today in this video, I would describe him as basically our gang leader. I know what you're thinking, there's a lot of negative connotations with that phrase, but I assure you it is not. Let me start with myself. My name is Yuan. I was a pretty good student in school, very responsible, which is why I was given the task of delivering today's speech. But back in ACSI, I and a few others, together with Shah, used to take the bus number 74 to school every day. From then on, we called ourselves the 74 Gang. That gentleman standing over there is Ronald. He excelled at rugby and was particularly passionate about music and poetry. Some interest that he shared together with Shah, who also happened to be his neighbor. Sharil and Ronald were part of the Po Huat Road Gang. Seated on the table here is Andrew. If you look at Andrew, he exudes a natural sense of confidence, backed up by being an incredibly talented sportsman who attracted all the girls at church camp.
That is true.
Andrew, back in school, was the face of the cool gang. Next to him is Zachary Lam. Zachary represented the creme de la creme of ACS Barker. Despite being in a less conducive environment, Zach worked really hard on his talents and made it through his own merits to ACJC.
Well done.
He was part of a group of similar individuals who were known as the Bookworm Gang. Growing up, all four of us, as you can imagine, came from so-called rival gangs, each with our own strengths and interests. And as kids back then, we all thought that we were exceptional in our own ways and had all we needed as individuals or within our individual groups to flourish in life. I never saw a scenario where Ronald, Zach, Andrew, and I would actually be best of friends. But as it happened, we all became united under the banners of Shah. Shah ultimately brought out in us and our so-called gangs together, not only through his personality and charisma, but also by embodying all the best attributes and talents that each of our gangs represented and stood for. As our gang leader, there are 3 characteristics and traits that make Shah not only a good one, but a great leader. Yeah. Number 1, Shah looks out for all of us by prioritizing the interests of his friends above his own. He is someone that will remember everybody's birthday and make it a point to not only wish, but celebrate your birthday with you. He would take tremendous pride in the achievements of all his friends, celebrating them even more than if they were his own. Secondly, Shah was exemplary in his grit and determination towards all his life endeavors. He built his own company and social enterprise that he runs today from the ground up, overcoming all the challenges it takes to start and run your own business. As a rugby player, he also suffered multiple debilitating injuries over the years, but never ever succumbed to them, each time fighting tooth and nail to get through his periods of rehabilitation. Thirdly, Shah earned the respect of everyone, just by being extremely confident of himself. I mean, after all, who would loudly call himself Shahbooboo with a capital B? Even walking around school with a handwritten name, Shahbooboo, with a capital B on his backpack. Even to this day, his Facebook and Instagram handle still reads Shahbooboo with a capital B. The combination of this genuine care for others, tremendous tenacity, and supreme confidence makes him truly admirable. But the biggest lesson that Shah has taught me all these years is that as a united group of friends, the more that we celebrate and promote each other's unique personalities and talents, the more we can all collectively flourish and thrive. There are a lot more than 4 of us where we came from. In fact, probably more than enough to fill this entire room that have remained close friends and brothers till this day. But I genuinely have no doubt that if you ask each and every one of us individually, all of us wouldn't hesitate to admit that Shah is the one person that we all look up to as one of, if not the most influential person in our lives. Such was the case that all of us no longer associate ourselves with our previous gang names, but have gladly embraced our new identities of simply being called They All. United under our new gang that is known as Shah They All. For the longest time though, what was missing from our beloved gang leader was a partner in crime. Someone who was like Mrs. Kwa Gyok Chu to the late Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, or Annabelle Francis to Sheikh Haikal. The person who could complement Shah and journey life together. We often tease Shah. His nickname is Mr. Mai Teng Chu, because he would want to stay out with his friends as long as possible to enjoy the night. And I remember vividly, Fiona, the first time I met you, it was Shah who suggested that he would head back early for an early morning, because he had an early morning, while you were egging him and the rest of us to continue on the rest of the night. One of my earliest memories of you, Fiona, was also how you whipped up a huge and delicious portion of food, brought it to a gathering, and started feeding anyone who cared to try your dish. That immediately felt like deja vu, as I also remembered a younger version of Shah going around the neighborhood in the wee hours of morning to deliver food to the underprivileged. As most recent wedding parties, Fiona and Shah could be often seen hogging the dance floor, both being the life of the party. So, to Mrs. Fiona Boo, aka Mrs. Mai Teng Chu, I'm extremely thrilled that Shah has found his partner in crime. While I spent the most part of my speech now describing why I think Shah is a great friend, I would also like to share why I think he would make an equally excellent husband. I'll do this by presenting a few scenarios, which I know that Shah will go out his way to ensure your well-being is taken care of. As a disclaimer, these are all hypothetical scenarios that may or may not have historical precedence, but regardless, they are arranged in increasing levels of commitment. Number 1, if you're upset and you need someone to talk to, Shah will sit by your side for as long as it takes to listen to you. Number 2, if you are still so upset and you cannot sleep, Shah will stay up the whole night with you. He will gladly do that and then bring you to Shangri-La Hotel for a halal buffet breakfast in the morning to cheer you up. If you go out for a night with your friends and you're both too tired to drive home and you need someone to accompany you while you sleep in the car until it's sunrise or it's safe to drive back, Shah will gladly sleep in the car next to you. If he sees that you're making a wrong decision, for example, not living up to your reputation and thinking of going home too early from a party and try to sneak off on a taxi, Shah would put his body on the line, stand in front of the taxi, and remain resolute in his conviction to stop you from going home. If you find yourself also in an unlikely scenario where you are getting severely beaten up by a group of people through no fault of your own, Shah would jump in without hesitation to protect you and take all the hits for you. Lastly, if it's 3 a.m. in the morning and you find yourself on the wrong side of the law in the middle of the night, and you need someone to come to the police station to bail you out, Shah will gladly make the trip, no questions asked, to bail you out. So, beyond the printed shirts of each other, the rap songs and music videos, Fiona, I know that in Shah, you have found a husband who will never fail to physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially put himself out there for you at all times. Finally, from tomorrow onwards, or actually maybe tonight, as both of you go forth and multiply, I would like to end off my speech by saying why I think Shah will not only be an excellent friend and husband, but also an excellent father. From what I described so far, you probably would think that Shah had it very smooth sailing as a kid, but I assure you that it wasn't always the case. I personally witnessed Shah going through multiple identity crises in his adolescence years. He was someone who was very good academically, but also wanted to equally devote his time to excelling in sports, music, and arts. Someone who was aggressive and tenacious on the rugby field, but was the most gentle and kindest teddy bear when you interacted with him in real life. He was someone who was proud of his Malay roots and heritage, but backed it up by having only Chinese friends. Someone who cared deeply for his family, but also loved every one of his friends like they were his family. He was someone who respected his Muslim faith, but couldn't help but discreetly mouth along to the songs during chapel just because he really loved singing. Finally, Shah dedicated his entire career towards the underprivileged within our society, but spent the rest of his time trying to convince himself and others that he was Samoan. While all this could have made a weaker person succumb to the weight of expectations of trying to be everything to everyone, Shah instead embraced all these aspects of his character and developed this multifaceted personality that's what makes him truly special. So regardless of your future kid's personality, interest, or passion, I'm confident that he or she would find Shah just as inspiring and relatable. This trait, combined with all the attributes that make him a good friend and husband, is what will make him the ultimate role model to your children. And if you need further convincing, this is coming from the four of us who wouldn't mind saying that we are basically Shah's Ginas. So, congratulations, Fiona. I know for sure that you are marrying someone who is not only a beloved friend, son, brother, and uncle, but who we are all certain will be an equally great husband and father. Shah, you know we love you to bits, and we wish you all the happiness and love that you deserve going into your future life, Fiona.
Thank you.
That's a very lovely speech.